One piece of advice I would give to online learners is to be self-motivated. Think of it even as being your own instructor. Sure, you're going to have professors who are going to help you out as much as possible, but you want to take ownership of the material and the content and really go through every assignment and every reading material and ask yourself questions. Do I get this? Do I understand this? What else do I need to know in order to apply this successfully to the course? The more self-motivated you can be to do these things early, to plan ahead of time, and to really just take ownership of the material.
I think two keys to success online are organization and asking for help. So with organization, that means not procrastinating, checking the course in your email every day, and reading everything carefully that comes from your instructor, and being really willing to ask for help. So whether it's through email or on the discussion board, no one knows you have a question if you don't speak up.
Well, communication is no doubt one of the most paramount issues that we face as instructors and students, and it's imperative that you always get in touch with your professor if you don't understand a discussion question, a text, or a video assignment, or anything that just might confuse you. Not only do you have the instructor in many instances, maybe you could ask someone else in the class, because there's always a connection between the students by way of email and whatnot, or discussion boards, an open forum. Because while the instructor might have a time set to get back to you, another student who's already taken online classes can help you with that as well. It makes no sense for you to just sit there and not instigate the communication. The instructor will not know. We speak differently sometimes and we say things differently sometimes, and the point doesn't always come across the way we would like it to. So I always encourage all of my students all of the time to get to me, and I'm answering emails 24/7 when I'm up. That's fair and that's fine, because we expect that, because we're not in the same physical environment, and everyone thinks and speaks a little bit different based on their culture and their past and their experiences, and that's a given. So do not feel threatened or shy when it comes to communication. And your instructor, professor, they obviously know and expect these emails to come. So I encourage all students always to keep that communication or lines of communication open.
I would say the most important thing is to read the materials of the course thoroughly, about 100 times. Read through it once so you have an overview, so you can see whether or not the course is actually something you feel that you can handle, and then read it much more closely, each section, regarding how the grades are calculated, when the homework is due, how things should be formatted, how you should contact the instructor. And I would revisit things like the syllabus and the assignments regularly. When I put up my weekly announcements that say, here's what's happening this week, here's what you need to do, and I number everything, I make sure to say at the end of the announcements, now go back up to the announcements and read them all again. Because I know that you started in your mind doing task 1 and task 2 and maybe even task 3, but task 4 and 5 and 6 have gone by the wayside. So the best thing you could do is just refocus and reread.
If you were to be in a face-to-face setting, taking the class in a normal format, you would spend approximately, probably in most classes, 3 hours a week in the classroom. And in most cases, at a college level, that means if you multiply, homework-wise, that you would multiply that by 2, so you'd have about 6 to 9 hours of homework for that 3-hour class. Let's say that you should put in 10 hours a week. What I'm telling you as a student in an online class is not to try and do the whole 10 hours in one day. What you want to do is spread that over several days. Take 5 days, do 2 hours a day, and you'll do fine. You don't want to procrastinate in an online class. Don't wait to the last minute. Be the person that's on the offensive, and you'll do great.